What up? How you going? I am recently got our Instagram hacked because of my own dumbass fault, Calvin. And today I'm going to talk about my personal experiences with the Mesmers. John Bolino Pro Mesmer skate. Mesmer skates came out on the market about just over half year ago, end of 2021. Yeah, it is a company started by Billy O'Neill and John Bolino with the help from Power Slide. It is the old Throne, USD Throne boot, revamped and fixed up for today's standards, I guess. UFS, one-piece sole plate. I've liked what they've done here at whether you lace it up. There's just more of a gap there, so I guess for people with fat feet, vertical wise, it's a bit more comfy. They also come with the Kaiser Fluid 5 frames, which is a flat frame. It's a pretty good frame. It is, if you've never skated them before, the poor man's symmetric frame. Anyway, the wheels they come with, which is pretty cool. First time I've personally seen this for any setup, which is 90A wheels on the outside and 95A on the inside, just to help with wheel bite, I guess. Well, no, it definitely helps with wheel bite, so you don't get as much of it because they're harder in the middle. Got these cool little kind of images there, which all coincides with imagery on it all, on the skate, as well as, which is pretty cool, first time as well on rollerblades that I know of. Nice little image on the soles, very reminiscent of skateboard decks, just to, I guess, make some very individual in their own right. The missus pointed out that she thought the images on the wheels were very cute in her words. The feel of the boot. Let's talk about the feel of the boot. Now, the boot is very narrow, very reminiscent of, I guess, the USD sways, which makes sense because the sways, I'm pretty sure, are based on the old Throne boot anyway. So the heels and the arch feel pretty much the same, except for with these Mesmer boots, there is a little bit more toe room. Yeah, it's not as squared off compared to the sways, so it leaves you a little bit more toe room. Ooh, let's talk about the liner. Yeah, the liner that it comes with is a MyFit liner, which is actually heat moldable. Obviously they've whacked a little Mesmer logo on there, if you can see. just to customize them a bit more. These are very cushy, quite thick, and they've kind of got like this almost a velvety feel on the inside of the cuffs. It actually goes right through into the boot. The line is pretty good though. The tongue is also very squishy, kind of like the same kind of, I don't know, density and sponginess of it all. But I don't know if you can see that side view. So, which I thought was pretty awesome when I skated these, because the buckle didn't dig in at all, due to that being so snug and so cushy. Not for everyone. I don't think these will be for everyone, especially if you're used to a thinner liner. But also it depends what boot you're riding them in. I found these, well, actually, let's talk about the boot. Let's go into a bit more detail about me sizing down. I have the 7.5 US boot and liner, which is 255 Mondo. I thought my feet would be fine, but they're not. My feet are 250 Mondo, that's in length. Wide, I don't know. So I thought I'd be able to fit in the 7.5, but no, the boot's too narrow, just caused too much pain on my arches basically. Just too much pressure. Even the heel was quite tight. I'd say, wouldn't even say snug, it was like very snug. So I thought that'd be sweet, but it was not. Yeah, it just hurt too much, man. So I went up a size because I still want to skate these skates and see what all the fuss is all about. And I never skated thrones, let alone saw an actual pair in New Zealand when I was younger. And I personally didn't like how the thrones looked back in the days. I thought they were ugly, man. That big tumor, whatever they call it, the tumor sole plate. I just, nah. But these look good. I like that. I got the size 8. Even the MyFit liner in the size 8 is a 261 Mondo. And even that liner, the 8s, are snug on my feet. So let me remind you, my feet are 250 Mondo. The size 8 liner is 261 Mondo. That's a whole nother 11 millimeters really. And even then, my feet are snug. Not extremely snug, like just snug. They fit quite comfortably, but yeah, it wouldn't hurt if I had a little bit more toe wiggle room, because I like that myself. Yeah, I do advise people to size up if you're gonna skate the liner and if you've got wide feet. But if you've got, skinny feet, normal to skinny feet with high arches or normal to high arches, you might be sweet. You might be fine with sizing down, because I know some people out there are, but it's kind of risky in my opinion. Yeah, if you've got a mate or know someone else that has a size that you can try, definitely do that. As well as if you've got other liners that you're gonna whack in there, then that might be the go as well. But be careful, be very careful. Yeah, I personally don't advise it, But you should know your feet better than anyone else, especially if you've tried on a few different skates and that. You know, I go for more wider boots, like the SL, the Roshi's 5th. They fit my feet nicely, width-wise. But even them skates, the them 909s seem to just fit me. Yeah, so something, you should be aware of. Yeah, hope that helps. definitely getting the flex that I like. I've also tightened up the liner. I've actually used the laces that it come with, so it's a nice kind of like in between. Yeah, sick. So even with the 8/9 boot, the boot's quite skinny, and I'm still finding the arches a bit too narrow for me, to the point where I'm kind of getting a bit of I'm getting a bit of like cramp in the soles of my feet, especially around the arches. I'm like, usually get that with all new skates anyway, and it's just my feet adapting and breaking in skates, but it's kind of it's putting me off a little bit. Just need to carry on skating. The homie Keith's having a jam on the skates right now, and actually he skates Razor Colts, and he put up a good point which I need to talk about too. I thought the sole plates would be just as fast as Razors, since they're made out of that glass infused kind of nylon, but yeah, Keith even noticed, he was like, whoa, they're so much slower to what he's used to. And yeah, straight up, I thought they'd be fast too, but no, they're just as slow as any other skate, really. Wanted to know that Keith does not skate flat. It was like the first time, basically, ever.
Scary.
Scary?
Just scary.
Why is it scary though?
Love the boot. The sole plate, scary.
Yeah?
Scary.
And you're skating flat, which you're not used to as well.
I've never done that in my life.
Alright.
But I was never a USD. Ever. Razors. That's where it's at.
Yeah, so
Instantly.
bias there. He's skated Razors all his life, but yeah. I have played around with different setups of the Mesmer skate. so far. I have skated a couple of times before doing this part. Now, I swapped out the Kaiser Fluid 5 frames for the new 50/50 Balance 2 frames. Not because I don't like the Kaiser frames, more because I just haven't skated the Balance 2 frames enough. I've only skated them a couple of times, and I did a little review on them about a month or so ago. And those first couple of skates, I love them. They were mean. They were so good. I enjoyed them more than the Kaiser Fluid 5s. Even though there's nothing wrong with the Fluid 5s, yeah, they just worked better for my style of skating and the angles that I like to hit. So I've swapped that out. But what I did notice when I swapped out the frames, this is something to be aware of, is the receiver at the bottom here, which the frame bolt goes into, that receiver doesn't have teeth to grip into the plastic. So when you are undoing those bolts, that receiver will get loose. So you have to kind of insert your hand and put pressure so it doesn't, you know, rotate. I don't know if it's just something to do with this batch or it was with the first batch as well. Just FYI. But okay, so first session, obviously I swapped out the frames, the Balance 2 frames. What else did I do? I rode them pretty much stock standard, except for without the frame and the wheels, just to get a feel of the boot. I know, I always add extra footbeds and shock absorbers and stuff like that. I did actually originally try it with footprint game changers, but I had the low version in them, which is slightly thinner. Even cutting them down on the sides to fit into the boot, because of how the boot kind of arches in here, it actually pushed the footprint insoles up and into my arches even more, ever so slightly, but it was enough to cause me pain, man. It was enough to cause, like, I know, stress on my arches and kind of made them cramp a bit, I guess. So that was in the first 10 minutes of skating them. I came home, swapped them out, and whacked back in the original insoles that these come with, which once again, I didn't talk about this before, but it's pretty cool. Goes with all the theme of the whole skate. Yeah, whacked that in. That was actually a bit better. But then I found, after a little session, and I skated them for about an hour. After that little session, I just wasn't used to the impact. It was hurting my feet. It was hurting my knees a little bit. Just not used to it. I mean, that's just me. For everyone else, they'll be sweet. Yeah, personally, I love a lot of squishiness and a lot of impact resistance. Second session, got to go with Keith, my homie Keith, out to Inglewood. Super windy day, but I'm like, it's been raining for 3 weeks straight, and wasn't gonna let some wind deter us from skating. I'm like, he himself hadn't skated for like about a month or so. It's just been raining so much here. It's winter now in New Zealand, so you kind of gotta get it while you can. So yeah, what I do, I actually changed out, I took this out, this shock absorber that the USDs come with, which is quite hard, I guess. It's quite a hard shock absorber. These come with basically all USDs that I know of, and they're good. They're all good. They're just, they're real good. Just depends on yourself and what you like, right? So I took that out anyway, and I ended up putting on some dead heel pads that came out not long ago. They're about 6 mils. So I tried them on to see if it would help and if I liked it a bit more or not. Made the heels, well, once they were in there, made the heels, I guess, feel a little bit lower. Not by much, but a little bit. So for those that don't like a lot of heel raise, that might be the way to go. Yeah, they helped a little bit more for the shock. I guess it was a little bit more comfortable for my knees and my ankles But after skating for, I don't know, it was a couple of hours, not even that. Oh yeah, about a couple of hours. I felt the boot was still irritating me around the arches. Not to the point where I wasn't gonna skate at all, but it was enough to annoy me for that comfort that I want. Oh yes, let's talk about the cuffs. The cuffs. For me personally, I'm all about cuffs because they determine and change how I skate and how comfortable I skate. Now these cuffs, they're quite flexy. Found them to be somewhere in between a Them's cuff and a Razor's cuff. Still had that forward and back flex that is supportive. It wasn't too crazy. It was not like the sways. They were actually pretty good, but that could be because, I don't know, the cuffs seemed quite high, but that could be because I'm skating a bigger boot as well. Yeah, higher than what I'm used to. But that's lateral flex, man, that side to side flex. Oh, that was on point. Yeah, definitely more my style and what I like, and I assume what a lot of other people like. Everyone's different, depends on your skating. If you're more into grinding and stuff, then you want a bit more flex, I guess. Depends on the person. But for me, yeah, it was on point. So it was, yeah. If you like the Razor's cuff and you like the Them's cuff, it was somewhere in between. It was definitely somewhere in between in that flex. And because of that flex, personally is the big draw card for me to want to skate this boot. From what I've heard from online on the rollerblading and Mesmer setup pages with everyone else talking about it. So that is what intrigued me a lot. Not only that, I mean, like, the other thing that intrigued me was the materials that they've used for this boot. They've used some kind of like, I can't remember what the actual word is, but it's like a glass infused nylon. And just hearing about that, I assumed that it's gonna skate and slide quite fast because everything else I've used with those kind of materials has been really fast. So I'm not sure if it's like the sole plate as well or if it's just the boot that's used it. Third session today. It's sunny, but just as windy as the other day, if not more. Oh, probably about the same. But at least there's no puddles. For the third session, decided to swap out the frames, and I've gone with my Creates. Steering wheel's in the way. And changed out the liner. Got the Intuition in here to see if it changes anything, if it helps with the pressure points in my arches that I'm getting. I actually really like the Intuition shock absorber that comes with. I reckon it's awesome. It really suits me. So yeah, third session, last session I'll do for this vid. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so I only really skated in the Mesmers for about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. I couldn't bear it. It was just the same problem, even with the intuition liners. Just that pressure point in my arches was just too much, and I wasn't going to put myself through that again, since it was kind of a nice day to skate. So I ended up just going back to my thems, my 909s, just because I have them dialed in now after skating them for a good month. Got them really dialed in, so they're comfortable. But my final thoughts on these skates, these John Bolino Mesmer Pro skates, I do really like them. I like how they flex, I like how they skate, I like how they feel under my feet, especially with the Creates Originals. I'm an anti-rocker kid at heart when it comes down to it, and that just, it was on point. I was straight in there. I was lacing top mistrials pretty easily, which is a trick I usually have trouble with. I got them pretty easy with these skates, which is a real shame because I really want to skate these, but it's just that inner arch of the shell there. So what I might do, well, I'll probably will do, is I'm gonna try and push that out, chuck a can or some tennis balls, whatever, and get a dryer and just kind of heat mold that plastic shell. Just see if it helps push out the shell a bit more and help ease that pain. If that doesn't work, then I'm not skating them. Simple as that. Yeah, even they are a bigger shell to what I'm used to. I didn't really actually have a problem with it. I was actually still skated like normal. It was actually pretty sweet. If you have flat, wide feet like me, I would maybe think twice about these skates, unless you're willing to customize them a bit more, and that's like play around and push out the plastic shell with a bit of heat molding. If you don't mind doing any of that kind of stuff, then go for it, because they are good skates to skate on, man. The flex is, yeah, I really do like them, and it's just a shame that they don't fit my feet very well. Yeah, anyway, so that's my random rant, my first experiences in these boots. I should say my Instagram recently got hacked, so I've had to start a whole new one from the get-go. Be awesome if you could please join that, which is Instagram Shred City Skates NZ. Yeah, got hacked. It's gone. I can't get it back. So yeah, anyway, go skate if you can, all that. Stay rad, be kind to one another. Cheers for listening. Chirp.